hold on to a dream. One more.
There you go.
Good morning. Good morning and welcome to Indy Boomer Magazine. I'm Mary Pat McKee and I'm sitting here this morning with Julia Lowe from CarDon and Associates.
Hi there.
And we have lots to talk about, but before we get started, we want to let everybody know that our new July issue is out in the Kroger stores in all of Indianapolis and the surrounding areas. Those are three great women of radio, Christy Lee, Julie Patterson, and Terry Stacy, so I hope you're able to pick those up. Also, we want to thank our sponsors this morning from Noblesville Trophy and Logan Street Signs and Banners. They make it make it so we can have the show.
Absolutely.
So we are very grateful to them.
Yep.
So let's jump right in. We are talking about the Reserve.
We are talking about the Reserve at Hamilton Trace.
Yes.
You know, as boomers are aging, everybody wants to find less work to do at home so they can have more fun when they're out doing things. And we have a great solution at the Reserve at Hamilton Trace.
Great.
Whether you want to stay in a home or you want to move to an apartment, we have whatever you need there with no maintenance, no muss and fuss. Everything's taken care of for you.
How's it getting easier than that? I don't know.
It sounds great.
Tell us about the Reserve. I'm familiar with the campus. As you know, I've told you many times, my mother is in the skilled facility at Hamilton Trace, which has been there 5 years, 6 years.
Going on 6 years.
It'll be 6 in October, I think. Yeah. And the Reserve, you guys started that a couple of years ago?
We did. The Reserve is on what I call the back half of the property. They have their own entrance, and it is definitely for the senior independent lifestyle, but it is part of the campus, so there's a continuum of care on the campus as well. So from home to independent living apartment to assisted living, rehab to home, and long-term care.
And there's lots of advantages to a continuum of care because that way, once you're there, you're already getting to know the people, just even the people that work there. It's great to know them as well as the friends that you will meet. But as you progress in life, and life changes, and it does on a dime, as we all well know. You know, you don't have to like move. A big deal.
It's not a big upheaval of your life. You just continue to do as you've done. You just might move to a different location on the same campus. So it's wonderful. The cottages are a freestanding home. We have several different floor plans. We've got everything from 2 bedrooms to 3 bedrooms with a walkout basement. So you can downsize if you have an enormous house. You don't have to get rid of everything. You're just going to a smaller, more manageable location. They're absolutely beautiful.
They are. I've seen them.
Yeah, they are just wonderful.
Isn't your biggest one even 3,000 square feet or so?
Yeah, so that's actually... That would not be downsizing for me, but
not for me either. But some people it would be.
But even if it's not a full downsize, you're moving somewhere where you don't have to take care of anything.
Yeah, that's the bonus.
Yeah, the snow removal's done, the exterior maintenance on your house is done. We'll even come in and change your light bulbs for you.
Okay.
Yeah. So moving, you get all the independence that you want. You have it is a house. You have a full kitchen. You have your bedrooms. You have a basement if you want one. You have your garage, but everything is taken care of for you. And then if you want something smaller, you can move to our apartments, and they're large as well. And one of my favorite features of the apartment, which sounds kind of funny, is the storage lockers. So, you move to an apartment from a house, you accumulate stuff in your life. It's hard to get rid of stuff. I have a lot of stuff. So, what do you do with your holiday things, your Christmas tree, all of that? Well, we have these wonderful storage lockers. So, it's just a great little feature that I find really, really interesting.
Yeah. Well, and it doesn't take up the space you're using within the apartment.
So, whether you're in the cottage or the apartment, we have an incredible chef in the dining room in the apartment building. Absolutely phenomenal food. They can custom make meals for you, but we have such a huge menu, so many options that you can always find something you like. So you can have a meal plan. You get a certain number of points, which you spend just like money in the dining room. But if you want to,
each month you get so many points. Okay, I see. Okay.
So then, if you want to buy additional meals or have friends over, absolutely we can accommodate that. So the food is absolutely wonderful. If you're in the cottage, you can come over to the dining room as well and purchase your meals
maybe if you're in the cottage, you only go for dinner or something.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It's very easy. Instead of like getting in your car and driving all the the way to a restaurant. You just get to pop over to the restaurant in the Reserve.
Sure. Now, are the apartments called the Reserve? Is the whole campus the Reserve?
No, the whole campus is Hamilton Trace. Okay. And then the Reserve is the Reserve at Hamilton Trace. They actually have their own separate entrances.
Okay, and that's the one off of 116th?
Off 116th, yes. And then the Hamilton Trace is off Cumberland.
Correct. Okay.
Right. So you just really have kind of the best of all worlds.
Yeah.
If you still have a lot of independence, you still need a lot of space, then the cottage can just be perfect for you. Just think of taking your house and transplanting it over and then not having to do any work at all.
Right.
That's my favorite thing.
Well, you know, the other thing I like too about the Reserve is the trees. I mean, it's a beautiful area.
It is.
So it's not just out there in the middle of the field. It's very nice.
And part of your whole package when you move to a cottage is you have biweekly housekeeping. Your trash service is included.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. You also, not that you would necessarily need it, but you get an emergency pendant, which is wonderful because if you would have a fall or if you would need anything, you just push that pendant, and we know that there's a problem, and come over and check on things and help assess the situation.
I'm curious, just real quick on that pendant thing, because I think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
I'm only 58, but I've actually thought, you know, in some of the things I do around the house, boy, if I fall, the only one's going to know is Rascal, my dog, and I don't know if he can call anybody. So
he's good, but he doesn't have thumbs. He can't dial the phone.
But my point being, so. Is that monitored by Hamilton Trace, or is that?
Well, it rings to the nurse's station.
Oh, it does. Okay.
And then they will assess the situation. So when you're in independent living, because that independent living is independent living, our staff cannot do any type of medical necessities for you.
Right, that's why it's independent.
Right,
exactly.
But they can assess the situation. So if it's a fall and you're up and everything's good. You can follow up with your doctor later. But if you fall and it's an emergency situation, then they can call 911 and they can stay with you, keep things calm, and help direct the paramedics or whoever comes. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's a great. It's a great piece of comfort.
Yes.
I know my mom is 80 and she lives all by herself. And she's very mobile, very active. But if something would happen, we wouldn't know it because we're not there all the time.
Well, and you see, I mean, I've heard stories and I know people. In fact, Patty Spiller, she fell in her house and laid for 11 hours one time.
Yeah, we don't
want
it's
a terrible thing.
That's terrible. And that really is. And it's terrifying for the person. We just don't need that. So we've got the pendant. So we have those in the apartment as well.
To go side on that.
No,
that's a really great feature.
That's absolutely fine. So also in the cottages, it includes all of your appliances except for your washer and dryer. Okay. So you can bring those from your house over, or you can be excited and get all new appliances.
Sure.
I don't know, those are little things that make people happy.
Yeah, especially the woman.
Yeah, exactly. So, but so you've got biweekly housekeeping. We'll come over and change a light bulb if you need it. Trash is taken care of. Water's taken care of. Yard's taken care of. Everything is taken care of. So you can just enjoy your life.
Right.
Because you know what? You've worked hard. By the time you get to retire, you want to enjoy your life.
Yeah.
So we help you do that. In the apartments, we have, like I said, the dining. We have activities. Sometimes people like them. Sometimes people don't. But the residents help decide what those activities are.
Oh, they do.
So we don't just say like, oh, today we're going to do X, Y, Z, and if nobody likes it, we don't keep doing it. And we get input from our residents on what's going on. I mean, we have outings. We go to the apple orchard. We go to shopping. We go to theater performances.
I bet you go to the casinos too.
I bet they do, but I don't know that.
Yeah.
If not,
I've heard
then
they
we need to do that. They need to bring me as a chaperone next time. But so we've got just all kinds of things going on, and you don't have to participate, but you can. So that's what I love about what we call the new senior independent lifestyle is when I retire, I just want to play. I want to do what I want to do when I want to do it, and I don't want to have to take care of all of the maintenance or the stuff that I have to take care of now.
Yeah.
So it makes it really, really easy.
Well, it gets harder and harder. I mean, haven't you noticed that a little bit as we age?
I'm old? No, I have noticed that. I just had a teaser.
I know. But I mean, some things. I mean,
Yes.
I've actually some of the yard work. I've hired somebody.
Right.
Because it's really not worth breaking your back anymore, like we
absolutely
used
agree.
to maybe when we were
30.
30, a few
There you
years
go.
ago.
Just a few years ago, yeah. So that's really the reserve. It's great
Yeah.
because you can choose whatever fits your lifestyle the
Right.
best, and feel safe. We've got security. Everything is set up so that you don't have to do anything. And I just think that's incredible.
Right.
And if you would have some type of surgery or a fall or some necessity and need to go to rehab so that you can get stronger and come back home,
It's right there.
it's right there.
Yeah.
So it's very, very easy.
Yeah.
So I know you know about CarDon and Associates and who we are and what we do.
Yes.
But I don't know that everybody else knows who CarDon and Associates are and what we do overall. So
No, and I also don't know how many people actually know all the different. You have a lot of facilities in Hamilton County.
we have a lot. So
Yeah.
CarDon is actually a family-owned company based in Bloomington, Indiana, and I love that. I've worked for several different companies, and there's nothing like working for a family and a Hoosier-owned company,
Right.
Because they just understand us and what we need.
Right.
So they were started in the 70s by Carol and Donna Moore, husband and wife, and they bought a nursing home, and their kids grew up working in it, doing everything from dishwashing to housekeeping to you name it, and they did it, and it really became the family's passion and the family's business. So we own a total of 20 facilities across Indiana.
Up to 20.
Up to
Wow.
20. In Hamilton County, we have 4 properties.
Okay.
So we have Hamilton Trace, and that is in Fishers.
Right.
Harbor Manor in the Lodge is in Noblesville,
Right.
right off 38. We have Carmel Health and Living, which obviously is in Carmel.
Right.
And we have Copper Trace, our newest, which is in Westfield at 146th and Ditch.
Okay.
So we really have something in every little niche of Hamilton County,
Yes.
which is great. There's a lot of hospitals in Hamilton County, so we've got one
Really near all of
by
them.
all of them,
Yeah.
which is wonderful. And we do everything from independent living, which is at the Reserve at Hamilton Trace, to assisted living at Hamilton Trace, Copper Trace, and Harbor Manor in the Lodge.
Okay.
And then all of our buildings have skilled long-term care and rehab.
All of them do have
do.
have the skilled.
All have skilled,
Okay.
and they also do rehab. So that's
Now,
wonderful.
what about memory care?
memory care?
I know
Gosh,
Hamilton
I
Trace does.
wish I had it everywhere in the world, but because the need is so growing. But we have memory care at Hamilton Trace,
Yeah.
Copper Trace, and Harbor Manor.
Oh, okay.
Carmel is the only building that does not have memory care.
Okay. Now, so you have the Lodge and Harbor Manor.
Yeah, so Harbor Manor and the Lodge, it's the same campus.
Right.
So Harbor Manor is the skilled, so long-term care, long-term memory care, and rehab to home.
Yeah.
And then the Lodge is great assisted living.
Yeah, that's a cool building.
It's a cool building.
A good friend of mine, her mom is at Harbor Manor.
Yeah.
And really always has good things to say about the care that her mom is receiving up
Yeah,
there.
I do love that at Harbor Manor, they kept that lodgy feeling. So instead of having an apartment at Harbor Manor, you have a cabin
Okay.
at Harbor Manor. And
Okay.
everything is very lodgy feeling and just very hometown. I know
It's
Noblesville.
kind of stuck back in there,
It
too. I
is.
mean, you
It's-
wouldn't know it was really there.
It's back in there, and I've been in Noblesville for 19 years, and I think that Harbor Manor and the Lodge just feels like it belongs in Noblesville.
Oh, yeah.
It's really
Yeah.
great, part of the community, but I love the little cabins. It's really, really nice.
Well, the only one I haven't been to yet, and I need to get out to see, is that Copper Trace.
Well, come on over.
Yeah, because I heard it's really nice from
Yeah,
other folks.
it's
Yeah.
beautiful, and we have assisted living apartments there, as well as long-term care, memory care, and
Yeah.
rehab to home.
Okay.
It's a great community.
Well, good. Hey, you mentioned something about a senior, you got a senior
You are
expo?
right. So Fishers Parks and Rec, I
I'm
know, I
always
would have
right.
forgotten that. Fishers Parks and Rec has a senior expo, and we are hosting it at the Reserve this year.
Okay.
So I had to flip this paper over to make sure I get the date right. It's August 17th.
I was
I
going to
forgot
correct
the
you if you had it
date.
wrong.
It's
Yeah.
August 17th, and it's from 11 to 1. And
Okay.
you can call the Reserve at 813-7777, or the number's on the screen, and get a little bit more information. But there'll be about 25 vendors there
Okay, that's what I was
with
gonna
anything
say.
and everything to do with active seniors.
Okay.
So it's
They
going to be
may
a
be
great
able to
time.
pick up an Indy Boomer magazine there as well.
I bet you can.
I bet you could.
There. Yeah, so that'll be a great time.
All right, great.
Good.
Thank you, Julia, for coming.
Thank you.
Always a pleasure to have you.
It's a great show.
Well, thank you. It's a great show because of my great guests that I have come.
Yeah.
Anyway, want to remind everybody, oh, well, there's our website up on the screen. Please go to our website. You can get any old TV segments, radio shows, podcast, or magazines from the last 6 years that Indy Boomer has been around. So also you see on the screen our July issue of Indy Boomer magazine. You can pick it up at any Kroger or Marsh store. Or I'm so used to saying Marsh.
Yeah,
I'm
sad
sorry.
You
You can pick it up at any Kroger store in Indianapolis and the surrounding area. And of course, don't forget Boomer TV on Sunday at 10:30 with Patty Spittler on Wish TV Channel 8. And thank you guys. Thanks everybody for watching, and hope this was good information and informative. And
Yeah.
see you August 17th at the Senior Expo.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks.
It ain't too late at any age to hold on to